numbers, good three-point shooting from Bradley, but Isaiah Mosley had the three of the evening with a shot at the buzzer that won it for the Bears, 71-69. That was on January 5th. A lot has happened since then, with Missouri State in the lineup, Jalen Manette on his senior night, as well as Isaiah Mosley, who leads the Valley in free throw percentage, and Gage Prim, who leads the conference in blocks, and he misses his first attempt underneath.
It's going to be a good battle all night watching him match up with number 51 there, Rink Mast.
And the Bradley lineup includes Rink Mast, the Valley's leading rebounder, and Terry Roberts, who leads the conference in assists. And this one goes down to get it started for the Braves for three.
Tavanainen is their best three-point shooter for the Braves. That is the first of what could be many tonight. He shot the ball well against this Bears defense in Bradley back on January 5th.
His 45th three of the season. All-time the 68th meeting, with the Bears leading 42-25. Last year the Bears won 2 here. Last year in the altered schedule season, the last Bradley win came 2 years ago at the Carver Arena in overtime.
Donovan Clay turns over the ball on a travel. Bradley will get it back here already with that Tavanainen three under their belts.
So this is a fun one tonight, with these teams separated by just one game in the standings. Both teams looking up at Northern Iowa and Loyola, and the Panthers getting all they want from Indiana State tonight so far.
Yeah, that was a one-possession game the last time we saw the scoreboard, as Tavanainen launches from three again, but this time misses.
Donovan Clay for Manette, and just short, but online. Offensive rebound for Missouri State and Isaiah Mosley.
Patterson was lucky there, got tied up, nearly traveled with the ball, nearly turned it over, but Missouri State keeps it deep in the shot clock.
Pull out for Manette, and count that one. Jalen Manette, his 353rd career three-pointer, 7th among active NCAA players.
Got introduced to the crowd earlier tonight, pregame with his mom and his brother. You see our keys to the game tonight? Take care of the ball. Bradley is so good when they turn the ball over in limited amounts. Under 13 turnovers, they're perfect this year. And tempo, Bradley gets up the floor quick and grinds us to almost a halt on the defensive end. Then for Missouri State, more Mosley. Isaiah Mosley's only scored down 13 points in the last 2 games combined. Bradley's the best rebounding team in the Valley. Missouri State needs to beat them on the glass tonight. They get a big rebound right there from Gage Prim.
And Lakai Patterson with the score. Looking for another big game, as we told you, against the Braves.
Something about this red man on Bradley. He just lights up. Went off for 20 the first time. Could have another night like that here tonight.
Good hustle underneath there for Leons to get inside Prim for the rebound. And the turnaround, count it, Terry Roberts.
Roberts so very good. A lot of people are already saying he's going to be the Missouri Valley Conference newcomer of the year. Just a ton of skills. He check marks every box as now the Bears throw the ball into backcourt, another turnover.
Ryan Wardle on the Bradley bench in his 7th season. 5 years at Green Bay with 95 wins there. He played at Marquette, played in 2 NITs in 1998 and 2000.
You know, they often say, Don, that coaches or teams take on the personality of their coaches, and Brian Wardle is two things. He is smart and he is tough, and so are his Braves, and that's how they have battled back from what was really a bad start to the season. Got off to a 1-5 start.
Prim gets the pick. And Missouri State gets it low to Gage Prim, and he is fouled by Rink Mast.
This is what Gage Prim does best. You see that little high-low screen and roll there between him and Manette, and he started up there with the screen for the three-point shooter for the Bears, then rolls down low. 3 Braves collapsed in on him, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Dana Ford looks for Missouri State win number 70 tonight. has the Bears in the 20-win column for the first time in his tenure here at Missouri State. And it's Gage Prim with his first point of the evening, breaking a tie on the Missouri State career scoring list and moving into 16th place alone, breaking the tie with Jared Dixon, best known for the half-court bomb at the buzzer against Illinois State 3 years ago.
That video just popped up again on my social media. Like, what was that, about a week, 10 days ago?
February 11th of 19.
We aren't far removed from the anniversary of that night.
So Prim now with 1,247 career points, and before the night is over, he will pass a Missouri State legend, Winston Garland.
Wow.
That is his next target.
And that is a name that is up in the rafters here, so that's how you know how big a deal that is.
Pull back three, and count it. And it is Tavanainen, the Finland native, now with his second three.
Now he shoots a high percentage, and he shoots maybe even a little better percentage against the Bears. I think he shot about 44, 45% in the home game.
Friendly bounce for Lakai Patterson. It's a 1-point Bradley lead. We're off to a quick start here in Springfield.
We'll talk about it in the keys, Don. This is a Bradley team that loves to play up tempo, loves to get these. Everybody on this team can shoot the three. That time, Tavanainen's the fadeaway turnaround jump shot no good. He was probably a little too close that time.
Isaiah Mosley. Remember, he has had as many as 43 in a game against Northern Iowa here for a JQH Arena record. That was a 2. And now Bradley with another chance. Manette comes away with the ball for Missouri State.
Roberts pulled the trigger, didn't make it, tried to get his own rebound, and the Bears take it right back.
Dawson Carper on the floor for the Bears, the big 7-footer. Manette feeling it. Wouldn't go. Mikey Howell has the rebound.
Don, that's probably his favorite spot, that right ear of the Missouri State logo. That's well beyond the three-point line, but that seems to be Manette's launching spot. He likes to take a look from right there.
Out to Ari Boya.
Well, we've heard Art Haynes, the radio play-by-play voice of the Bears, make mention of this on more than one occasion. He is involved in more fouls in any given night than just about any player, because he gives his 4 or 5 fouls. He draws more charges than any other Bear on the team, and he shoots more free throws than anybody else.
Donovan Clay on the board, but didn't have an angle at a putback. And it'll come out to Jamonte Black, a normal Bear starter for the season, who has hit over 150 career threes, but he misses that one. Isaac Haney defending here for the Bears as well, with Mikey Howell running at a guard. And we'll get a foul called here by the official Brooks Wells.
Hand check foul on Donovan Clay. I was here for the shoot around with Missouri State earlier, and Dana Ford told Clay, you're going to be with Roberts all night. That's how much attention they're going to pay to number 0. A guy who, when he was playing pickup games in New York, got the nickname Mr. 40 for dropping 40-point games on people.
Out to the top for 3, it's masked, and it's off. Haney goes up for the board. One-point difference, been tied all the way, never separated by more than 3. And Mosley gets rejected by Leons. Braves now. Saw a little jersey grab there. Haney getting in the way, disrupting Zeke Montgomery.
Didn't disrupt him enough, though.
Nope.
Montgomery able to knock down the bucket, and Haney falling backwards, trying not to pick up an early foul here. And this game just can't seem to be separated by much more than a point right now here in the early going.
Missouri State 11-4 at home this year. They haven't had a 12-win home season in 8 years. Here's Prim. Up and around. And Bradley quick to the rebound with Terry Roberts.
It's a great battle right now. If you like big man play, Rink Mask and Gage Prim are just leaning on one another. And here's Prim getting back behind the defense.
And he'll throw it off at a
again in game 2. And for Dana Ford, Clay almost always this season takes your best scorer on the other side.
Roberts even grew up near that Amityville house. Gage Prim goes to work for the Bears out of the break and hooks one home.
Boy, and that is my favorite part of his game that I don't think he goes to enough anymore. He just
answer the other way.
He just olayed and got out of the way that time of Bradley's Mikey Howell, the 6'3" senior.
So Prim now has moved into the Bears' top 15 with that rainbow three that won't go, and he has indeed passed Winston Garland on Missouri State's career scoring list. Remember, Garland did his damage in 2 memorable seasons.
2 of the best seasons in Missouri State history, and that's why his name's up in the rafters with the likes of Curtis Perry and Jerry Anderson and Daryl Garrison. The only 4 uniforms retired here inside JQH Arena for the men.
Patterson, little space, but a miss, and it's masked on the board. Garland's years were the 1986 season, the Bears' first postseason year of the NIT. Nearly made it to Madison Square Garden, losing by 1 point to Florida in the NIT quarterfinals. And then 87, Missouri State first NCAA season. Win over Clemson in the big dance, their first appearance. Patterson to the basket. The foul to Mikey Howell.
Lukai Patterson is such a mismatch problem at times, as you see Howell bump him off his line there. I was talking to Dave Snell, the veteran play-by-play voice of Bradley earlier today, and he goes, I was so surprised, you know, he's thick and will play with his back to the basket, back a man down like he's a forward, but then he's got guard skills and going to make the assists and play out on the perimeter. He's just a tough matchup, Patterson.
Howell's miss here, saved in for Missouri State. Through 10 minutes, Missouri State trailing on the boards 12-11. A lot of missed shots now. A lot more were falling in the first 5. Here's Clay. That's a 3 that's good for Donovan Clay.
Just the second made three-pointer for Missouri State in the game. They need that. Swings the pendulum back in the Bears' favor. Clay gets so much attention for his defense. He was a big-time offensive player before he came to Missouri State, but his identity here in Springfield has been as a defensive stopper.
Connor Hickman puts one down. Freshman. Bloomington, Indiana.
Hickman's a coach's kid, so you know what you're going to get out of him, but he kind of hit the freshman wall the last couple weeks, been having a hard time scoring, but not having a problem there with that jump shot as Kip Kissinger's going to whistle this one off. Got a foul down below on Boya.
7'1", big man from Cameroon there for the Braves will pick up his first foul.
Boya's career at Bradley's kind of been beset with injuries 3 of the last 4 years. He's missed a lot of time due to stress fractures at his feet. There he denies the inbounds pass, but Prim gets it anyway.
And it's Mosley for Clay for another look at 3. Clay had hit only 10 all year, and he's gone for 2 here in the last minute or 2.
Donovan Clay dialed in from downtown with back-to-back triples. Mosley slipped there for a moment on defense. Got to catch up now.
Tapped around, and there's Boya underneath to find it.
7'1" with about a 7'4" wingspan, and he put it to good use there. Now Bradley just down 1 to Missouri State after those back-to-back triples by Clay.
Still no bigger separation than 3 points either way. Mosley will go and gets hit. Down it goes, and a chance for 4 for Isaiah Mosley.
Mosley going to get a run at the unicorn here with the 4-point play. Isaiah Mosley, they worked on this during the shoot around. He was either supposed to have a straight line drive off that play or a good look at 3, and he had exactly that. Able to deliver, and then one of the best free throw shooters in the country and in the Valley. Going to go to the line here for 4.
And it was a right wing 3 that he made at the buzzer at the Carver Arena to win the game for Missouri State. Kind of like that, with a hand right in his face.
I think he was a little bit further out, up north. I think that was about a 23-footer he had to hit at the buzzer for the win.
3 this way, spins out for Hickman.
Clay pulls down his 3rd rebound. Clay was 6 points and 3 rebounds, Don. He leads Missouri State until Mosley hits another 3.
Oh, it could be. Mosley starting to feel it again. And
went to every player, every manager, every coach, fist bump, high five, hug, something before he ever picked up a ball. That's what kind of team guy he is, and that is a team throwdown by Aboya. Nice designed play by Coach Wardle out of the timeout.
Ended the Missouri State 6-0 run in a big way for the Braves. Margin is at 5, and Mosley starting tonight at number 14 on Missouri State's career scoring list. He is feeling it, and now he has stepped into another record for Missouri State basketball.
Yep, got to kind of dig in the book, but as far as when Missouri State has been a D1 school in this conference, the Missouri Valley, he passes all-time great Danny Moore for most conference points by a Bear in the D1 era.
Annette with a miss.
Oh, sniper.
Foul called by Brooks Wells. Dana Ford showing some elevation in his objection to the call.
I can't say that I blame him that time. Thought the player was going down before there was any contact, but doesn't look like Dana's going to get any help with that.
Video on the board here in the arena.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He slipped before Clay ever got there. That's wrong place, wrong time, I guess, for Donovan Clay, but
tough little turnaround goes down for Montgomery.
Boy, the freshman showing out right now. 6'6" out of Louisville, Kentucky, and each time Montgomery's gotten on the floor, he's added points to the Bradley list.
Boy, Mosley just knows it's going in right now. The Bears will try to get it to him. Patterson to the block and across. Dawson Carper will come out to the arc. And Haney fakes his man and will head for the line.
What set all of that up was the great post-to-post passing that time between Carper and your guard slash forward here at Lukai Patterson. And then Isaac Haney leans in and saddles Aboya with another foul, his second.
And it's Haney now looking for his first points. Scoreless in 10 minutes of play Sunday at Northern Iowa. That was a 20-point Missouri State loss, 95-75, and a lack of defense that Dana Ford could not accept.
Worst beat of the year, man. I mean, you know, you get beat by 20. Defense wasn't there. Mosley couldn't score. He's got more points now with 5.5 minutes to go until halftime than he had the entire game. So it was a bad deal all around, and it was another one of those shrinking violet moments, you know. There's been a lot of those games this year where Missouri State has been like, this is the biggest game of the Dana Ford era, and they did not get the win on the road when they needed it against the Panthers. Look at the defense by Prim all over Rink Mast.
3 is too deep. Mosley the long rebound. And they'll keep Roberts right in his face. Turnaround is good anyway for Mosley.
Can't do it, and Roberts looks like he's playing on a bad wheel right now, Don. he's got a little hitch in his giddy up, and say that spin move by Mosley can break ankles, but I think Roberts was hurt before that. Here's another turnover.
Missouri State will look for a double-digit lead. Mosley, oh, wow.
Turns right into the Bradley bench and says, it may be one of those nights, fellas. I'm feeling pretty good.
16 now for Mosley with 4 threes.
Jamonte Black gonna get caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. But man, Mosley just in the zone, and Don, when it comes to him, it looks so, he makes it look so easy right now. Just steps right into the shot. That was good defense. Zeke Montgomery had a hand in his face. It wasn't like he was lost on a defensive switch. It wasn't like they sagged off or were helping on somebody else. They know who that is. That's Isaiah Mosley. He's arguably the best scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Rejection here by several sets of hands, and the other way now for Missouri State with all the momentum, and Isaac Haney cannot get it down. Well, Mosley now
Scoreboard to Missouri State.
Bears on a 15-4 charge, and Winston Garland hanging from the rafters here at Missouri State, with Gage Prim passing him tonight. Those who were here will never forget Winston Garland. There's Mast for his first 2.
Missouri State and Gage Prim doing a good job defensively on Rink Mast, keeping him out of the scoring column, but he's still been able to help his team in other ways. He's got 4 rebounds. That's the most of any player on the floor tonight.
And Ed had to track this one and somehow was able to turn and save it.
I don't even know how he got there. Kind of blinded by the Jack Nicholson seats. Look at that, 1 foot in the corner, turn and bounce it off of Leon's there.
I mean, how athletic do you have to be to pull that off and stay in bounds? Here's Prim with the score.
Prim with a strong take that time under 2 Braves defenders. Uses the glass and gets it to go. Prim's got 6 points.
So the Braves playing come from behind here now, down a dozen after the Bears run, and here's a steal. Manette the other way. Mosley throwing into traffic, and Prim comes up with the ball. 2 fakes and a foul. Will put him on the line with a foul to Mast for his second.
Rink Mast and Gage Prim are 2 of the best bigs of the Missouri Valley Conference. You see Mosley bounces that one off the chest of an opposing player, and Prim then trying to play through Tavanainen and Mast. And Mast is, you know, Bradley's equivalent to Gage Prim. He's a walking double-double every night.
Prim just 2 of 6 from the field so far tonight, but for the year, 3rd in the Valley. 57.5% shooting. Good from the foul line. Maintaining Missouri State's 79.6% team free throw number.
Oh,
1 out of 2 here.
Big 7'1" Boya comes in off the bench and gets the rebound, and Prim missing the second free throw keeps Dawson Carper, the Bears 7-footer, from getting onto the floor.
3 won't go for Howell. Another look, and count that one for Bradley, and Connor Hickman strikes for his first 3.
Hickman was an Indiana junior all-star in high school, Supreme 15 underclassman. Missed his senior year with an injury, though, and Mosley still staying out of that dreaded play-in game on Thursday, because still to this date, no one has played 4 games in 4 days at Arch Madness and won the tournament.
So much can happen with only 2 to go in the regular season. 1 for everybody after tonight, and an and 1 coming here for Bradley. Foul to Dawson Carper.
Carper was giving up room here on Mikey Howell and ends up turning around and clipping the 6'3" guard from San Diego, California.
Played 4 years at UC San Diego and had over 500 assists. Came to Bradley for his grad year, and he misses from the line.
He also played soccer for 10 years, Don. He was a member of the USA junior team. He was a big-time soccer player before he went ahead and gave himself completely to the game of basketball.
Under 2 to go in the first half. Prim through to the corner, and Manette off from 3. And there's Mosley to pick it, and a look at 3 that does not go. So Mosley now 4 of 6 from the arc.
I don't know that Dana Ford is going to be too upset with that number here in the first half.
3 rattles in for Connor Hickman.
Hickman heating up now here in the final seconds of the first half. He didn't do much. Now all of a sudden he's shooting 50% from the outside.
Bradley making a move, back within 7. Mosley draws a double team and saved in. There's Prim underneath for the score.
Mikey Howell saved it into the wrong big man. Prim just sitting there waiting, and takes about as easy a 2 as he'll probably get tonight. Look at how Prim calls out all the defensive switches, and it ends up being another turnover here.
Patterson followed by Prim.
Prim just laying in the weeds for that two-handed jam putback. You talked about how close Bradley was getting, Don, and then all of a sudden Prim flexes, and it's back to an 11-point lead for the Bears.
That 5-point surge has put Missouri State in a good position headed into halftime. Look underneath. Manette guarding. Prim gets there and commits the foul.
And he did. He was trying to help Manette that time, Don. Bradley got exactly what they want. That's a great play call by Brian Wardle, because they got Leones, and his length there, 6'9", 210 pounds, matched up on the much smaller Jalen Manette. Prim flashing down there, trying to help him out. Ends up picking up for Gage what is just his first personal foul of the night.
And Malavi Leones looking for his first point after he scored 16 against the Bears in Peoria. He had 21 points and 9 boards Saturday against Illinois State in a Bradley win.
Now he's a Swiss Army knife. He does everything for this team. He ranks in the top 5 in field goal percentage, scoring, block shots, rebounds, and assists.
6th in free throw percentage. And 1 out of 2. 5 seconds for Missouri State. Up floor, it's Jamonte Black, and he throws it into the bench. And 1.4 now for Bradley.
Well, you had 2 3-point shooters occupying the same part of the floor. You had Haney and Manette side by side. He threw it over both their heads.
Half court. And at 43-33. There's a final, and Indiana State gave Northern Iowa all they wanted, but the Panthers win tonight in Terre Haute 88-82. And Drake gets the win at Valparaiso this evening.
And both those games, Don, going the opposite way that Missouri State fans wanted them to go if they hoped for some way for Missouri State to sweep the weekend and get help and have a chance to get to the #1 seed. Those 2 games not helping the Bears.
That was a lot of help and an extreme long shot for Missouri State to get to the #1. But
yeah, I would have wanted to see the Vegas odds on that one, but funny how expectations change. Some years you just don't want to play on Thursday, and now you're trying to figure out all the different permutations to be the #1 seed. Prim with the block of Mast.
And the Bears the other way with Prim against Mast. Manette guarded 3. Oh, count it.
He had a Brave in his pocket while he was shooting that one. Could have been another 4-point play. Mosley had a chance at one of those in the first half. And here's an and one on the other end. Roberts could not get going in the first half, only scored 2 points. He's going to go to the line here to shoot the traditional 3-point play after Lukai Patterson reached out and tagged him.
Robert's first trip to the line tonight. He is from Florida Southwestern State College.
They are the Buccaneers. I had to look that up.
Top 10 in points on their career list. Now foul on Missouri State's end. Connor Hickman gets his first. Bears will inbound underneath. Missouri State is closing in on its own team's single-season three-point record, as they have gone over 250 for the season here tonight. The record is 270. There's one for Bradley. No, it's a two. They're going to say two for Leons.
He just had a toe on the line that time, because that is his favorite spot. Leon's always looking for an opportunity to launch that corner three. That's his favorite.
Prim will go from deep, and it's off.
That Jokic-esque rainmaker of a shot. It's one thing when he's going from 10 feet. It's another thing when he's 20 feet out and he throws that thing up.
Foul with free throws coming for Bradley now. Foul goes to Patterson. Quickly, two in the second half for him.
Well, and all of a sudden, you don't have the matchup that you had in the first half. Lukai Patterson has gotten into foul trouble now because he's guarding Roberts. That was almost exclusively the purview of Donovan Clay in the first half. And you can tell Dana Ford confused by the defensive switches. He's got to pull Patterson out, one of his original starting five. He'll replace him with Isaac Haney.
Roberts following his free throw. The Bears block out and get the rebound. 2 minutes in the second half. Eight-point game with Donovan Clay. Out front to Mosley. Look out if he gets loose again.
Well, that's what, if it was up to me right now, I'd just say, get me an isolation play for Mosley. Step back three, yep. Picked up right where he left off.
Wow. 21 for Mosley. Up and under and in for Leons.
Leons just had a long two on the other end, and this time able to get Isaiah Mosley off his feet. And don't let that get in your head there, man. He left his feet, swatted at Leons. I can kind of see what Mosley's getting at. I don't know that there was any contact there on the swat, but he may have got him with the body. As Leons, a young transfer from Mineral Area Community College, converts.
Missouri JUCO.
Man, and he won just about every award you could win, Don, in JUCO ball for his time at Mineral Area. I mean, he was pretty much on every watch list, every All-American list, you name it.
Connor Hickman's second foul. Here's Mosley with Tavanainen guarding. Haney fires out front. Clay around his man to the basket and the score.
There was about 1 second left on that shot clock when Donovan Clay opened that right hand and let that floater go. That is a big-time shot and pushes the Bears' lead back to 10.
Out to the arc. Leons for three.
Leon's doing his best Isaiah Mosley impression here in the second half. He hasn't missed.
8 points in 3.5 minutes in the second half, and 9 total now for Leons.
He is.
Now Mosley gets fouled. Ryan Wardle thought the foul was a little late in being called, but
he's not gonna like the fact that it's gonna go against his big rink mast either, but he put his hand right into Mosley's chest. That'll put number one at the free throw line. How about this? Leons, Don, has a perfect run to start the second half. He is 3 of 3 from the floor, 1 of 1 from three-point land, and 1 of 1 at the charity stripe. Couldn't ask for a much better start for Bradley.
Now it's Mosley. 2 of 2 for 23 this evening. Missouri State lead back to 9. Across for Ari Boya. He had 2 baskets in the first half with 2 fouls. Bears take this one away.
Active hands that time in the passing lanes, and Hickman had the ball batted away from him, and now he's on skates trying to guard Mosley. He's going to foul. I mean, that'll go away to paying off some books and some debt at the bookstore, man.
Mom and Dad say, you get up and you go to that game tonight.
You go to that game. Don't care how slick it is between Blair Shannon and JQH Arena. You go anyway.
Well, Mosley hasn't missed much, but the throw wouldn't go.
That's
underneath. Boya, yes.
Boya now with 6 points. He's got a perfect line. He doesn't shoot it very much, but he's 3 for 3 from the floor. At 7'1", you can pretty much bet it's always going to be a high percentage shot.
In for Prim, and Boya gets an arm into him.
That's going to be personal foul number 3 on the 7'1" Ari Boya from Cameroon. See the bump there, and then the official calls the block, and we get blocked by the official, and Boya gets a rebound.
Mosley a miss from the corner. Now 5 of 8 from 3. And a strip of the ball the other way, Patterson. Prim running with him. And a foul on the floor.
A very emphatic call from Brooks Wells there.
Mikey Howell for his second.
Lukai Patterson had gone out of the game after picking up 2 fouls, trying to guard Terry Roberts. Finally gets back into the lineup here, trying to get some productive minutes with those couple of fouls in his back pocket.
Prim, little space, but a miss. There is not a Bear with more than 2 fouls at all tonight. So Missouri State, and that's kind of rare that they can play pretty much all out here at this point.
There are, however, 2 Braves in the danger zone. Boya just now, and Hickman and Mass, so 3.
Patterson with a score.
Lukai Patterson's offense is getting better and better the last couple weeks, as here's an unforced error. Give the ball back to Missouri State. Lukai has scored in double figures in 5 of the last 7 matchups for Missouri State, including that 20-point blow-up against Bradley.
That was his career best.
Right now he killed his dribble and he's kind of in jail. Mosley has to come back and bail him out.
There he goes. 2 more for Mosley. That's 27.
Sweet little baseline teardrop runner. He lets it go, and all Tavanainens could do is watch it go through the cylinder.
Out to the arc. Howell's 3 is off. Strong rebound, and this will count for Leons. Second foul to Black.
Black hasn't got a lot of minutes tonight. The former Rockbridge Bruin played his high school ball with Isaiah Mosley. He didn't start tonight, so Jalen Manette could start on his senior night, but Black's only been in for about 12 minutes. They'll put Leons on the line. We're talking about all the JUCO accolades he got in his time at Mineral Area. How about JUCO Male Student Athlete of the Year, Division I Men's Basketball Player of the Year, NABC 2-year College Player of the Year, and an All-American First Teamer. That guy just filled up the trophy case in his 2 years of JUCO ball.
Well, Evansville's not putting up much resistance against Loyola tonight.
Well, the upside is for Bears fans. Guess where Missouri State is Saturday?
Against Evansville in Indiana. Yep. Patterson.
Oh, man.
Another.
God, lean left, spin back right, and snap the net.
looking for Boya, but it comes out to the arc instead, and Tavanainen with a miss. Mosley with his 5th rebound to go with 27 points and not quite getting to 30.
I was going to say, if that one goes in, go buy a lottery ticket, dude. Block.
Rejection.
Clay over the top and sends it screaming out of bounds. Donovan Clay, clean, and then the big right-handed swipe, sending Hickman's offering all the way into the corner and nearly running up the tunnel.
Down from the side for the Braves. Underneath looking for Mast, and it's off of Mast. And Prim got a hand on it.
Say Gage Prim redirected it. It went right off the Nikes of Rink Mast and out of bounds. In the game, the turnovers. See, we told you the keys that the magic number of turnovers for Bradley is 11. When they get at that 11 mark, if they stay below it, they're 7-0. They're undefeated. When they go above it, well, things don't go well as well in the win-loss column, and they're sitting at 11 now, and Missouri State has only turned the ball over still 3 times as Clay gets the leader. He's got 10.
Such clean play for Missouri State tonight. All 3 of those turnovers in the first half, nothing in the first 8 minutes of the second half. Side, a lot of traffic and the foul.
It's the bottom 5 in the league. The 4 teams are end up in the play-in round on Thursday, all on the losing end of a lot of scores here tonight.
Leon's at the line for 13 points now.
Ryan Wardle's bunch, winners of 8 of their last 10. And you know what, Don, they get a couple of free throws there, but neither one of these teams is exactly lighting it up from the charity stripe. Both teams shooting 60% at the line tonight.
Both 6 of 10.
Mosley missing a couple that are just as uncharacteristic as anything.
And this time he gives the ball up.
Now Roberts had something to do with that. Terry Roberts stayed down, stayed low, and knocked that one out of Mosley's hands.
That'd be the first steal of the night for Bradley.
Missouri State had 6 in the first half.
Only the 4th Bear turnover. Annette looking, that was supposed to be a pass.
Yeah, he and Prim were not on the same page, even though they were both recognized on senior night. And this is a Missouri State team, Don, that has more seniors on the roster, but man, with COVID and everything else, senior night's kind of just a weird thing anymore. The only thing we know for sure is that Manette and Prim are out of years of eligibility, but there's 3 more seniors on the roster that can use their COVID year and come back next year.
Rink Mast nails a 3. His first of the evening, his 25th of the year. Bradley is right in this.
They have quietly climbed their way back in. They've knocked down 4 of their last 5 shots of the Braves. And Missouri State's kind of gone cold. Had a turnover or 2, and they need to get back to doing what they do, and that guy can do it for you.
Mosley stripped of the ball there. A rare closer range miss for him. Out of the basket. The other way for Missouri State off of the Roberts miss. Mosley again. The fake. Gets it back himself and puts it down.
There were Bears dotted Don around the perimeter, waving their hands, wanting the ball, wanting a shot. But Mosley just knew, I got to take one here. I got to get us one here. And that's exactly what one of the leading scorers in the Valley did right there, push it back to 10 points.
Mast tracks the ball toward the corner for the Braves. This one will stay out for Montgomery. So Missouri State by 10. And here goes Manette, and down.
Man, what a strong take by Jalen Manette. All the conversation always about what a great shooter he is, how good he is from the wing. And that time, that was just straight up good guard play, a good strong take, and a good finish.
Back-to-back baskets for the Bears, and Mast will get an easy 2 down on Bradley's end.
Well, that was a bad defensive switch. Manette ended up on Mast, and Rick Mast is going to take advantage of that.
Now the Bears are over the line throwing the ball in. A rare mistake you don't want to see at this point in the year.
A mental error that, you know, the polite thing to do is call it an unforced error. The truth is that's just something you can't let happen when you're trying to finish out a ball game.
Foul called here. It'd be like lining up offside in the last football game of the year.
And a lot of this has to do with Manette, Don. He got beat by Mast on the bucket. Then he stepped over the line on the inbounds. Now he's committed a bad foul here. If I'm Dana Ford, you got to take Jalen out, press the reset button there. But unfortunately, they just took Mosley out, had to bring Black in to take his spot. So you're kind of guard short now.
Trouble in the lane for Roberts. Bails out the issue here at times. Right off the inbound, it's Connor Hickman with a score.
And Hickman just kind of hits you every now and again. He goes quiet. You don't hear or see from him for a while. And the moment Wardle calls his number, he gets back in. He's able to score. And now a turnover here. Manette throws it away.
To the top for 3. Oh, and now, look out, it's Connor Hickman.
Very good names in the lexicon, if you will, of Bradley Brave basketball. Barr was a world beater for a couple of years.
So down to the 8-minute mark here in Springfield. 2-possession game now with Bradley closing the gap. Manette with a miss, Prim with a tap to himself. And up strong, up and under, and foul. And another timeout coming before Gage Prim goes to the line. Ari Boya gets his 4th foul for the Braves. Missouri State by 5. Well, here comes the guy that had $2,500 cleared from his Missouri State financial account here this evening. Awarded by none other than University President Cliff Smart. Well, coming up is the final day of the regular season Saturday. The spotlight will be on Cedar Falls, Iowa, where Loyola and Northern Iowa will play straight up for the Valley title in the regular season at 5 o'clock on ESPNU.
And they've said it for years, Don. The Missouri Valley Conference is a coach's league. Don't bet against Ben Jacobson in Northern Iowa at home on the weekend. Look at that, Southern Illinois at Drake. Get a little spotlight on CBS Sports Network as well.
Gage Prim shooting as we come back. His first point of the second half.
Gage Prim has so wanted to step his game up to the next level this year, Don. When I talked to Corey Gibson and the coaching staff, all offseason, he is a 4 a.m. gym guy. He was in the gym from 4 to 8 in the morning working on his shot, working on his three-pointer, trying to get more of a perimeter game. And then he would sleep for an hour or two until the rest of the team came in for practice. That's how much commitment 44 has put into his final year of college basketball. And there he sends Roberts out of bounds. Roberts steps on the line before he bounces the ball off of Prim.
Missouri State now up with the lead at 6, but still just 7 of 12 at the free throw line. 7:20 to go. Manette looks low to Prim. Kind of falling away from the basket, but he puts it in.
And that's what Manette was trying to do before the last media timeout. They weren't on the same page. This time he and Prim reading from the same book.
Rink's three is off. Tapped out long for Bradley, and another look at three. Stays out for Tavanainen.
Isaiah Mosley pulls down his 9th rebound of the game. One away from a double-double, sitting with 29 and 9.
And he will put it over 30.
He goes over 30 points for the 6th game this season. He's got one 40-point game and 6 30-point games on the resume this year.
And two 40-point games. The 43 against Northern Iowa. And that is an offensive foul. Gage Prim.
Manette just put that one right on the money over Leones, and Rink masked. Prim couldn't keep his feet under him, but it didn't stop him from delivering the bucket. For Prim, 14 points, 5 rebounds tonight.
Now Mosley, 43 against Northern Iowa, 40 at Loyola in that torrid run of scoring that he had in January.
That led to his back-to-back-to-back Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week honors. It's been now 2.5 minutes since Bradley's been able to get a field goal.
Out of bounds, off the miss. The Bears have taken the lead from 5 to 10 and have the ball now.
Mikey Howell checks back in for Bradley. Bradley really leaning on the three-pointer, Don, the last couple of possessions, and they're not at the spot on the clock or in the game yet where you got to have a three every time down, but they kind of seem to be living and dying by the three right now.
Bradley 8 of 24 for the game. The Bears 9 of 24. The give to Mosley. Finds Isaac Haney loose for three. Braves the other way. Out to Mast. Not there. There's Mosley's 10th board for his double-double.
31 and 10. Just one assist, because when he's gotten the ball, he's gone to score, just like Donovan Clay does here as he banks it home and gets the and one.
Clay with 12 and headed for the line.
Leones is going to pick up the foul, his second.
Donovan Clay hasn't missed tonight. 5 of 5 from the field, with 2 of those from the arc. That's his first free throw attempt, and that's down. So now it's an 8-0 run for Missouri State, with timeout for Brian Wardle. 4:43 remaining here at JQH Arena. Bears against Evansville.
What was that score a while ago? I say Loyola was up about 30.
Yeah, Evansville was in the teens. That is Saturday at 4 for the Missouri State Bears to end their regular season. And the Braves hosting Valparaiso at the Carver Arena.
Gage Prim, Don, with his 14 points tonight, the 94th double-figure scoring game in his career at Missouri State. And this will be the 32nd time that Mosley's gone for 20 or more. And wonder if those two won any money off their accounts tonight. They seem in a good mood.
Looking good for Bears fans right now. Bradley turns it over again.
Their 15th turnover of the night. Missouri State, who only had 3 turnovers the first half, have turned it over a total of 8 times now, so 5 in the second half. Missouri State now can take a different pace and tempo if they like.
There goes Mosley off the glass. for 33.
He's been going all night. Mosley can just beat you in so many different ways. Roberts connects from the outside. His first made triple of the night.
And looked like a toe on the arc there for a 2.
Did it end up going to? How many of those have we had tonight? Somebody got to take one big step back.
All it takes. Patterson back to work. Too much there. So Missouri State by 13. Off for Connor Hickman. Missouri State will slow the pace with 3:10 left.
No reason not to. Patterson, who's led the team in assists 10 different times this season, can let the air out of the ball a little bit.
Now Clay's turnaround is good.
So Clay goes 6 for 6 now, Don, and that's the minimum to see whether or not a Bear has shot 100%. The last time it happened, November of 21, wasn't that long ago. Jalen Manette did it on a 6 for 6 shooting night.
Here comes Mosley. He'll look, and it's Clay for the finish.
The unselfish play by Mosley, which is when he was at Valpo, he dropped 22 on Missouri State, but he hasn't eclipsed the 22-point mark since coming to Springfield.
Bradley now needs anything they can find with Missouri State on a 17-4, and the putback is good for Bradley, and it's Connor Linke off the bench, getting in for the first time. Some new faces out there. Darius Hanna is on the floor for Bradley.
Maxi Cano as well from France, a 6'7" freshman. He wears number 2. There, the new guys get a turnover.
Mikey Howell gets fouled by Patterson. He's the first Bear to get to even 3 fouls tonight.
Yep, it's been as clean as a game as Dana Ford could possibly hope for from his charges. And Patterson looks frustrated, but man, look at the scoreboard. You're all right. Don't let that bother you.
Mikey Howell shooting. Missouri State over 50% shooting tonight, man, 52.5. Well, key to the whole thing.
Well, and that just goes against the biggest thing that Bradley hangs their hat on every year, which is their defense. You know, they lay claim to being one of just a handful of teams that's held their opponents to under 42% field goal shooting for the last like 5 seasons. I mean, it's a big number that not a lot of schools' defenses can come close to, and Bradley's done that, but they have been unable to hold the Bears shooters in line here tonight, and Manette dribbles the ball out of bounds and gives it back to Bradley.
Now Bradley's #1 figure in the Valley, 398 for field goal percentage defense, is going to take a hit tonight. Down to a minute to go. Cano will bring it up to the top for the Braves.
Surprised they're spending this much time on the possession, all the way under 10 on the shot clock.
Bradley will drop to 16 and 13 with their game against Valpo Saturday night at 7 in Peoria. Look out. Stalemate there. We'll call it a tie-up. Bears will improve to 21 and 9 with 1 to go at Evansville Saturday afternoon at 4. Manette leads with 8 points.
The senior send-off here for Manette and now Gage Prim.
Prim, 14 points, 5 boards tonight.
He has been an extra special Bear in his time in Springfield. He didn't spend his entire career here, but the time he has been here, he has endured himself to the fans of Missouri State and the basketball fans here in Springfield. And that 20 number, Don, that's a big number. Getting to 20 wins, that kind of tells you whether or not you've got a shot at the postseason. That your net ranking.
At the shot clock buzzer, it's good for Haney. Bears set to improve to 12-5 in Valley play with 1 to go, and no worse than a tie for third. One more chance here. That will do it, and Bradley falls to Missouri State as the Bears